Scotland's Picts have long been viewed as a mysterious people with their enigmatic symbols and inscriptions, accentuated by representations of them as wild barbarians with exotic origins. But a newly published study by an international team led by researchers at the University of Aberdeen and Liverpool John Moores University is helping to shed new light on the origins of the Picts. The culture, which spoke a P-Celtic Brittonic Indo-European language in the same family as Welsh, Cornish and Breton, were first mentioned in the late 3rd century as resisting the Romans, and went on to form a powerful kingdom that ruled over a large part of northern Britain in present-day northeast Scotland. In the medieval period, the Picts were considered immigrants from Thrace, Scythia or Isles north of Britain, but as they left few written sources of their own, little is known of their origins or relations with other cultural groups living in Britain. Archaeologists have now conducted the first extensive analysis of Pictish genomes, and their results have been published in the open-access journal PLOS Genetics. The results revealed a long-standing genetic continuity in some regions of the British Isles, helping to build a picture of where the Picts actually came from and providing new understanding of how present-day genetic diversity formed. The findings also confirmed descriptions by the historian Beda of the far-flung eastern origins of the Picts as one of mythology and fantasy. Researchers used identity by descent (IBD) methods to compare two high-quality Pictish genomes sequenced from individuals excavated from Pictish-era cemeteries at Lundin Links in Fife, southern Pictland, and Ballintor in Easter Ross, northern Pictland, to those of previously published ancient genomes as well as the modern population. Dr. Linus Girdland Flink of the University of Aberdeen, senior corresponding author of the study, said, "Among the peoples present during the first millennium CE in Britain, the Picts are one of the most enigmatic. Their unique cultural features such as Pictish symbols and the scarcity of contemporary literary and archaeological sources resulted in many diverse hypotheses about their origin, lifestyle and culture, part of the so-called Pictish problem. We aim to determine the genetic relationships between the Picts and neighbouring modern-day and ancient populations. Using DNA analysis, we have been able to fill a gap in an understudied area of Scotland's past. Our results showed that individuals from Western Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland and Northumbria display a higher degree of identity by descent sharing with the Pictish genomes, meaning they are genetically most similar among modern populations. This genetic makeup was distinct from areas of southern England where there is a greater relative degree of Anglo-Saxon heritage." Dr. Adeline Morez from Liverpool's John Moores University, lead corresponding author of the study, added, "Our findings also support the idea of regional continuity between the late Iron Age and early medieval periods, and indicates that the Picts were local to the British Isles in their origin, as their gene pool is drawn from the older Iron Age and not from large-scale migration from exotic locations far to the east." However, by comparing the samples between southern and northern Pictland, we can also see that they were not one homogeneous group, and that there are some distinct differences which point to patterns of migration and lifetime mobility that require further study. The analysis of mitochondrial genomes from Lundin Links has also provided an insight into another Pictish myth, that they practiced a form of matrilineal, with succession and perhaps inheritance going to the sister's son rather than directly through the male line. In a matrilocal system, we would expect to find females staying in their birthplace after their marriage and throughout their life. At Lundin Links, diversity in the maternally inherited mitochondrial DNA suggests this was not the case. This finding challenges the older hypotheses that Pictish succession was passed along the mother's side and raise further questions about our understanding of Pictish society and its organisation. Part of the study's conclusion read, "Our study provides novel insight into genetic affinity between ancient and modern populations of the British Isles, a rare opportunity to directly observe micro-scale evolution. High-quality genomes of two individuals buried in Scotland from the Pictish period, one from Ballintor and one from Lundin Links, reveal a close genetic affinity to Iron Age populations from Britain, but with evidence of some genetic differentiation between samples. Overall, our data supports the current archaeological consensus arguing for regional continuity between the late Iron Age and early medieval periods, but likely with complex patterns of migration, lifetime mobility and admixture. We also showed that Bal 003 and Lund 004 were genetically differentiated from the pre-Viking Age Picts of Orkney, which suggests that Pictish culture spread to Orkney from Scotland primarily via cultural diffusion rather than direct population movement or intermarriage. We detect strong continuity between local Iron Age and present-day peoples in Orkney, but less pronounced affinity between early medieval and modern people in eastern Scotland. More ancient genomes from the Iron Age and early medieval periods in the UK are necessary to illuminate these relationships further, combined with analysis of lifetime mobility using complementary approaches, e.g. isotope analysis. On a more local level, our mitochondrial DNA analysis of individuals interred at London links is arguably inconsistent with matrilocality. This finding challenges the older hypotheses that Pictish succession was based on a matrilineal system, assuming that wider Pictish society was organised in such a manner. That's it for this video. Don't forget to like, share, and most importantly subscribe, and you can also support the channel on Subscribestar via the link in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.